Ah, shit. I tripped over a dragon. One of Rosie's dragons. She loves dragons. Alrighty. Greetings, everyone. A little more up close and personal this time. Thought we'd move the camera up a bit so I'm not talking to you from way over on the other side of the room. Alrighty, so today, continuing on with the HAULiday Updates, we've got mostly a bunch of sci-fi stuff, some of which is reacquisitions of stuff that I sold a little while back, some of which is reacquisitions that are also upgrades, some of which is new stuff. So, yeah, more sci-fi, old and new, and the old made new, sort of, today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Alrighty, so first but most definitely not least, I picked this one up a while ago, kept forgetting to include it in an update. I was actually going to do a video just specifically about this, but yeah, I didn't, so we'll just slip it into this update. I actually got this one a long time ago, like back in the summer sometime. We've got Dredd, starring Karl Urban, and it's got the beautiful bumpy slipcover. You see how bumpy that is? Very nice. Very nice indeed. Yes. It's kind of a dystopian matte finish. It's very nice. So this is, of course, the version that includes the... it's actually got the 3D and the 2D version on the same disc, which is pretty cool. You can pick this up pretty cheap now, like probably 10, 15 bucks. Probably not with the slipcover. If you get the slipcover, you know, good on you. Lucky. What did I think of Dredd? Well... I remember the old Sylvester Stallone movie from back in the day. I actually used to have it on Laserdisc, and in fact, I think when I bought it on Laserdisc was the first time I'd ever seen it. Now, I was somewhat familiar with the Judge Dredd comic books from 2000 AD. I saw a lot of reprints of them kicking around in the 80s when I was really hardcore into comic collecting, and always meant to check it out. I thought it looked really cool, just sort of this dark, gritty sci-fi story, which apparently has actually a lot of dark humor and satire in it as well. It was very much kind of a satire of American politics and American society at the time, and but done in Britain. Go figure. Anyway, a lot of fans of the comics were unimpressed with the Sylvester Stallone movie, so it's been a long time coming, but we finally have a new version, which... I think, from what I know of the comics anyway, is far more faithful. At least as far as, you know, Karl Urban's performance as Dredd, fantastic. I mean, he really does look like the comic book character brought to life. He doesn't take his helmet off all through the movie, just like Dredd never takes his never takes his helmet off in the comics and stuff like that. So I really liked this movie a lot. Some people say it's a ripoff of The Raid. Well, actually, no. The Raid and Dredd just both happen to be in the same sort of subgenre of action film, namely the siege film, because it takes place primarily in a single location. And Dredd was actually finished. It was completely filmed and done before The Raid even went into production. It spent about a year or so in post-production. So, yeah, no, the Dredd was not a ripoff of The Raid. The Raid was just rushed into production and released before Dredd because, I don't know, maybe they knew that they had kind of similarly themed films and wanted to jump the gun. But anyway, whatever. Regardless of similarities of genre, I really liked Dredd a lot. And it kind of saddens me that it didn't do particularly well at the box office. Everyone I know who's seen this movie just loves it. It gives us a really nice taste of the world of Mega City 1 that it takes place in, the dystopian future and whatnot. And yeah, and it was made for a fairly low budget. I can't remember what the budget was specifically, but it was pretty low by today's standards. They do lots of really cool 3D effects and whatnot. I haven't seen it in 3D, but I can tell that, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I know would probably look really good in 3D. A lot of slow motion effects. And one of the things that struck me about it was they did a lot of there's some CG and whatnot for the landscapes and some of the action sequences, but the vast majority of effects that you see in it, including all the big elaborate slow motion stuff, was done with practical effects. It was all done in camera. They just filmed it really fast and and played it back in slow-mo for the film, and it looks fantastic. It looks really good. So I really liked the dark, gritty look of this. Loved Karl Urban as Dredd. We've also got Lena Headey in this from Sarah Connor Chronicles, and of course who plays Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones as Mama, the sort of crime lord of the story. And I got to commend her courage as an actor. Being willing to be made up to look so repulsive. She's got this big ugly scar on her face, and her teeth are all dirty, and her hair is all dirty, and this is not a sexy character, but she does really, really well as the baddie. So in terms of extras on here, we've got Mega City Masters, 35 Years of Judge Dredd featurette, which is a great featurette. I've actually watched it a few times. Goes into the history of the comic book character and whatnot, and it's great stuff. Dredd featurette about the making of the movie. Day of Chaos, the visual effects of Dredd 3D featurette, and that's where you see a lot of just how much they did with practical effects. Welcome to Peach Trees featurette. Dredd's Gear featurette. The Third Dimension featurette, where they talk about what they did for the 3D and whatnot, and a Dredd motion comic prequel. So you've actually got a little motion comic in there that kind of gives you the backstory of Mama and whatnot. So it's pretty cool. Sadly, no commentary or anything like that, but not a bad little package of extras on there. So yeah, Dredd definitely gets my recommendation. Don't go in expecting a sequel to the Stallone movie. This is a full-blown redo from the ground up, basically a reinterpretation of the original source material and actually doing the source material some justice. So there is a comic book sequel on the way. No film sequel, sadly. There's been rumors that maybe they'll do some direct-to-video stuff, which I would be totally down with. I'd be totally happy with that. But I really hope that this is not the last time that we visit this version of Mega City 1, because I loved it, and I really want to pick up the comics. There's actually a whole series of reprint editions that reprint in chronological order a good chunk of the 2000 AD comics from the very beginning all the way through to, fairly recently. And yeah, I definitely like to pick those up and read the original comics. Finally, do that. So anyway, Dredd, get it. It's awesome. Support stuff like this that actually tries to do a comic book adaptation right and do justice to it, because we don't see that very often. We get so many fans of comic books getting pissed off at the movie adaptations. This is one of the few ones we've had that actually does it right, and I'd love to see more of that. So let's encourage that by showing our support. Next up, reacquisition. Got the original Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger again. I don't know why I did the voice like that. That doesn't sound anything like him. And the reason I got that, again, was because I also picked up the remake. Yes, I told you there was more remakes coming with Colin Farrell. Now, I don't like to look at this as a remake of this film, because both of these are based on a Philip K. Dick short story called We Can Remember It For You Wholesale. And the tone of both films is very different. Like, this is much more sci-fi. This is much more espionage. There's obviously sci-fi elements to it because it takes place in the future, and there's a lot of high tech and whatnot. And there's a lot of nice little visual nods and whatnot to the Schwarzenegger film for fans of that one, like myself, which I immediately picked up on. This was one of those remakes I was like, oh, how could they do that? Blasphemy, those bastards. But then I actually watched it. I watched it with Stoudman and Skinslip. None of us had seen it. And we were all very pleasantly surprised, actually. Like, as a futuristic espionage thriller, it actually works pretty well. And I've always kind of liked Colin Farrell as well, so I really have no problem with that. But it's a lot darker and a lot grittier than the Schwarzenegger film, and as I say, it focuses a lot more on the espionage aspect of it rather than the sci-fi aspect. For example, Mars. Mars isn't even in this one. Can you imagine Total Recall without Mars? Well, imagine no further. It's right here. It's all Earth-based and you know, there's rather than having people moving off world to other planets to colonize and live there and work there, they have sort of this section of the world that people are moving to. Sort of this, you know, this is the place where you want to be because this is where things are happening. And yeah, but anyway, I actually really liked it a lot, and I was surprised that I liked it as much as I did. So go figure. Sometimes remakes are okay. Now this particular one, and also it was on sale. I think I got it for like $8, so I couldn't pass that up. And it has the nice shiny slipcover, of course, too. So so in terms of extras, we've got over an hour and a half of special features, which really isn't a ton, but whatever. Total Recall with Insight. Watch the movie with behind-the-scenes insight from director Len Wiseman. Featurettes, Science Fiction versus Science Fact, Designing the Fall, and Gag Reel. Oh, I should mention this. This also has Bryan Cranston in it as one of the baddies. Yes, Walter White himself is in this, so check it out. And then exclusive to Blu-ray, there's a lot of Blu-ray exclusive extras here. We've got both the theatrical and extended director's cuts of the film, with 20 minutes of new footage not seen in theaters, including an alternate ending. That's the version that we watched. We watched the extended cut. And, you know, 20 minutes of additional stuff, that is not insignificant. So I don't know how it compares to the theatrical version. I know that in the past, a lot of films have fared better in the director's cuts or extended cuts than they have in the theatrical version, in terms of general opinion. I don't know if that's the case here, but I definitely enjoyed the extended cut for what it's worth. So, God of War Ascension, PlayStation 3 playable game demo. Yeah, you can see how long ago this came out. This is like a year and a half ago, thereabouts. Yeah, God of War Ascension has long since come out and is in the bargain bins now. Got director's commentary. Yes, the commentary is exclusive to the Blu-ray edition. And additional featurettes. You got total action, key action sequences, and stunt breakdowns, stepping into Rekall, pre-visualization of the intense fight and chase sequences. So, there you go. Pretty cool. Got some good action there. Good action. And then we got, well, basically 3 reacquisition / upgrades. Not much to say about these because I've talked about the movies before. We got District 9, which I know opinions are very split on. I really like this one a lot, actually. But the reason I got this was I just sold my original, which did not have the slipcover. This one does have the slipcover, which is actually quite hard to find these days. So I was very happy to find it. I just found it in one of the local pawn shops, looking for stuff to rebuild the collection and restore it to its former glory. So we got District 9 with the slipcover there. And this one is another one I know that opinions are very split on. I really liked it a lot, and I talked about this one before as well. I'll put links in the description, by the way, just to, you know, I don't know how much I talked about District 9 before. I really liked it. I thought it was a lot, you know, I was expecting a different kind of sci-fi film, but it was quite different from what I was expecting with that expectation. It was very emotional, very powerful. I found myself, you know, feeling the feels on more than one occasion throughout the course of it. Very, very powerful film, and I really enjoyed it a lot. My mom hated it, but whatever. She doesn't like, you know, sort of found footage type movies. I mean, it's not really a found footage movie, but it's done in that sort of, you know, in-your-face, handheld documentary style. So next up, this was another one that was in the the $8 racks at Walmart, and I couldn't believe it. I used to have just the regular edition of this, which, funny enough, I also got on sale for like $5, I think, at Walmart a while back. From the makers of Crank 1 and 2, we've got Gerard Butler in Gamer. Now, this, of course, is the 3D version. So, yes, I got the 3D version of Gamer for $8. I thought that was pretty cool. So this one, you know, you just got 2 discs there. It's pretty cool. Gamer and then Gamer 3D. But all the same extras that were on the other one. You've got, oh, wait a minute. We've got, oh, no, it does. It actually has the 2D and 3D version on the same disc. I forgot about that. And then it also has the DVD. So not bad for $8, you know. Got the Super Deluxe Edition in 3D for $8. I got this the same day I got Coraline 3D. Yeah, so anyway, really, really good stuff. I really liked that one a lot. I know a lot of people didn't. And finally, a few of you were asking me about this, if I was going to pick it up. Well, of course I'm going to pick it up. I've been waiting for them to finally do this, give this film a proper remaster, and actually give it the quality it deserves. We got the newly remastered version of the first Terminator film. Now, if only we can get a version of Terminator 2 that gives it the same, you know, treatment, instead of the DNR fest that we've got now. So, yeah, so I haven't actually sat down and watched this yet, because, I mean, I've seen Terminator a billion times, but next time I watch it, it will be this version. So, very happy about this, and it's got, you know, it's got a few extras on here. You got 7 deleted scenes, creating the Terminator, visual effects and music, and Terminator, a retrospective. Apparently, if you want more extras, you need to keep the original version as well, the original crappy release, because it's got a bunch of extras that aren't on this one. But if you just want the movie in the best possible quality, then definitely go for this one, because it is a night and day difference. Like the old one was, I mean, first off, it was like a first generation Blu-ray using MPEG-2 encoding and, you know, comparatively low bit rate by today's standards, and just did not look that good. Very, very pixely. Very, very pixely. So there you go. So we got some new sci-fi and some old sci-fi upgraded and stuff like that. Yeah. So pretty cool. I actually picked up the remake of Total Recall before reacquiring this. I wanted to get them both on the same day, but I couldn't find this for some reason. But then I found it, and I just held out doing the update until then. So pretty good stuff, actually. Yeah, so definitely check out Dredd. Obviously, Total Recall's awesome. Give this the benefit of the doubt. You may be pleasantly surprised. Definitely get this version if you want the best version of the first Terminator ever. Gamer, I like it. A lot of people don't. A lot of other people do. Go figure. District 9, again, a love it or hate it thing. I love it. A lot of people hate it. But, you know, there's been a few different special editions. I know there's been some steelbooks and whatnot, but not for the Blu-ray edition, sadly. Maybe overseas. I don't know. You guys overseas seem to get a lot of stuff that we don't. And vice versa. I know it works both ways. But, yeah, so some good stuff. More editions for the Sci-Fi Collection. Alrighty. That is it from me to you for now. So until next time, we're getting close to the end of the HAULiday updates here. I'm gonna have to go and buy some new stuff. Yay, buying stuff. Well, payday's tomorrow, so just might have to do that. So we might be just finished with the HAULiday updates and then have some new updates. Yeah, and I have been watching things, by the way. I haven't just been amassing things and not watching them. I've actually been watching a movie every day or two, so slowly working my way through everything. It's nice to have choices. Alrighty, that is it from me to you for now, so until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara.